We love us a good recording. Good morning, everyone in Texas and everyone beyond, all of our friends beyond Texas. Hopefully the weather is nicer for you than it is for us. It is still pretty warm in Texas, unfortunately. I know it's almost Thanksgiving. Gosh, what week are we on? Are we on week like 43? Yeah, week 43. So gosh, this year has flown by. I know a lot of us are doing the production challenge with Place, which is pretty awesome, right? 5,000 dials or 50 open houses or 50 leads added to the database or 10 buyer agreements or 5 seller agreements. And we're also thinking about 2025, which it's kind of a convergence of 2 rivers. You've got 2024 that you still got to finish up, and then you've got 2025 that's coming right there, and it is a convergence of 2 rivers. And the thing that allows us to control our time the most is going to be sellers. And with spooky season here, I was like, what are the things that are scary for us? And I'll tell you what, I can look and I can see that we don't really do a lot with for sale by owners. So for whatever reason, they are a little scary to us. So our friend here, Jason Baker, he is fabulous. And he is in Montana. So if you've ever been up there, it's God's country. It's wonderful. And not only does he call for sale by owners, he's also been very successful with it and has helped his team be successful with it. And I thought, man, let's get us someone who knows how to work with for sale by owners and dispel the myths and tell us how to do it. And then let's go do it if we want to. So Jason, I'm gonna take it over to you, and then I'm gonna pop in if you want me to. I'm gonna not pop in if you don't want me to. You tell me what to do.
Yeah, you hop in. If I start going off on a tangent or I, need a little filter, just hop right in, get the beep, get your little beep button because you're going to need it. And, just get ready. I mean, and, everybody, if the screen just goes blank, that's because it just, she did the right thing. Okay. So don't get mad at her, everything else. But I'm super excited to be here. And one of the reasons is I didn't have to go feed the cattle this morning because, I had to be here doing this. And so I didn't have to get cold, which is always good for me at my age. But for sale by owners, just kind of a preface. So yes, I live up here in Montana. When I moved to Missoula, so I lived in Missoula for a couple of years, moved to Bozeman, came back to Missoula. I had 17 total people in my database. That was it. I didn't have a sugar mama. I didn't have any, see, there we go, Adeline. It's all over here. I didn't know a doctor that sending me all these referrals. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got $2,000 in my bank account. Now I only have like 2,100, 15 years later, but it's fine. But no, I mean, I was broke as a joke and I didn't know anybody. I just got into real estate. And the good thing I did was I got a real estate coach day one, and he said, you got to call for sale by owners and expireds. And as it turned out, I really liked for sale by owners more than expireds, although every single referral or deal that comes into my office now, or most of them, I can trace back to the past. For me anyway, I can trace back to the for sale by owner and expireds calls I made a decade ago, 11 years ago. It's just all coming back now. So it's not, the calls you're not making today are going to affect you not only in 30 to 60 to 90 days, but they're going to affect you, 10, 11 years down the road. I'm starting to see my personal business hockey stick up after a decade of doing this and prospecting every day almost. And so I just want to share this with you. My purpose today is to make FSBOs less scary. You should never be scared of them. But it is something that you're going to have to, really get into. So I'm just going to teach everything I know about them in the short time we have. When do I have to shut up, Adelina?
In about 35 minutes or so.
All right. She's like, you just wasted 5. Okay. So here we go. The reason agents do not call for sale by owners, I was thinking about this last night and actually added this to my presentation, is they believe the same lie the seller does, that they cannot sell it for more, that you, the agent, cannot sell for more. And I'll share these notes. Okay. Just listen. If you want to write down some stuff where I say something that's not really dumb, you could write it down. And if there's anything you want to add to this form, I'll send an editable version as well. Just do a save as. Okay. they create doubt in create doubt in their mind, you as the agent, not in your own. Okay, and we're going to go over how to create doubt to a FSBO to get them to hire you. Number three, they don't really know what they do what you do and the value that you bring to them. And we're starting to really have to analyze that now with these new lawsuits and things like that, right? What is it that we do as a real estate agent to bring value to our clients? Number four is they believe it's the hardest appointment, again, agents, when really it's the easiest appointment. Okay. Number five, they think that so many other agents are calling them, but they're really not, because they're in the same hamster wheel of self-doubt that you are. So you really need to just stop lying to yourself about that and to just do that. Okay. We're going to teach you the skills on how. And this is probably one of three that we would need to do, Adelina, to really get there. But we'll open some eyes this morning. Okay. Self-doubt. Yes, it does. It kills all dreams. Okay. Like, I swear someday I'll have a six-pack. Okay. Now they're versatile enough. I'll start with a 2. I mean, I start small, small goals, but they are versatile enough that they're not versatile enough agents. That's why they don't call, because they don't understand that there's really 4 personality styles and how to work with them. For example, I have 0C, zero analytics. If you spend I have 0 analytical in my personality style. If you spend 5 minutes with me, that will become abundantly obvious. But the fact is that the hardest personality and who I should role play with the most, because I can't just sell to people like me, crazy, high energy, high drivers, high D, high I. I can't just sell to those people. I'm losing 75% of my potential income by not being versatile. Okay. So that's reasons why we don't call. Also, this is a mental game. Call reluctance is real. So when I was in call reluctance happens for a lot of reasons, mostly because of a lack of practice and a lack of confidence, which comes from practice. So when I was coming up and I didn't know anybody, okay, I had moved from Boston. I still sound like I was from there in the middle of Montana. It's weird. Okay, when I come up, I role played 1 hour a day with a heavy focus on expireds. In fact, I paid $1,000 to get in, with $1,000 if I didn't show up. So $2,000 at risk. A 1 hour role play group from 8 to 9 a.m. in the morning, sometimes 7 to 8, depending on time zone of my partners. And I did expired for sell by owner, wild card Wednesday, pre-qualification Thursday, and listing appointment Friday. I spent a minimum of an hour a day when I was coming up with people who were way better at it than me, really fine-tuning my FSBO and expired skills. Okay. Preload all of your lists the night before, because call reluctance will 100%. You'll start doing that in the middle of your lead gen hour on purpose. Over time, watch, it will happen. Okay. I see more garbage going on from 8:30 to 11 in my office when that's call time. People who don't love adminning between the hours of 8:30 and 11. Okay. I'm telling you, that's like their golden hour. Why? So I don't have to hear no on the phone. We're going to hear no on your paycheck. So you get to choose. Okay. So you got to really get ready for the call session. The number one mistake I see agent making, again, is just, missing 1 minute of that 9 to 11:30, 8:30 to 11. Okay. They're just babysitting deals, pretending they're busier than they are. There are no emergencies in real estate. Everything comes down to the lead gen and how well you do that. Do not screw with your money time. And one thing to remember about FSBOs, you have to call them in the morning. Nobody picked up. Good. That's your signal to call them in the afternoon. Nobody picked up then. They might work. Okay. So then call them at night. Oh my gosh, I have a family. Yes, but you're going to have to borrow money to feed them. Now you'll call them on the weekend. Okay, so you got to figure out when the FSBO's home and work around their schedule. Same thing goes for expireds, okay? Now, the reason why, is that any questions so far, comments or whatever else? I don't just want to read my notes for 40 minutes or 35 minutes. Any comments so far? Questions, concerns? Okay.
No, keep going.
All right. I'm going to roll. The reason, and I could slow this down. I could spend 4 hours doing this, believe me. The reason they don't list with an agent from the get-go, you have to know why. They got a flat fee mailer card. I'll do this for 400 to 500. So they don't think they need to pay 5 or 6%. Okay. I don't know if I can share my screen, but just for the sake of time, I'm not going to. I've pulled open Congress Realty in Missoula. I've pulled open that flat fee listing company. I'll take a minute and read you the stats for the analyticals on the call who want to check every stat that I say just because that's the way that they're geared. They have closed in the last 12 months, this whole entire company across the whole entire state of Montana, only 23 for sale by owner flat fee transactions at 500 a whack. So that's a total revenue generated there, if my math is correct, of $11,500. They have taken 59 listings and only sold 23 of them. They have sold them, these are the for sale by owner people doing it on their own, for only 93.6%. So they've sold, what's 23 divided by 59? I'm guessing around 40, 38 or 40%. These companies that say that they do this on the cheap don't hardly sell anything that they put on the market because the people are doing it on their own. Not to mention, another huge reason why they don't sell a lot of those is the second, because I have their agreement and I've analyzed it and so have my attorneys, that's a non-exclusive agreement. The moment it hits Congress, I call them. I've closed a lot of those 59 myself personally, because they're like, here, I'm listed for 500. I reimburse them the 500 and I take their listing sometimes. Okay. And I give them the full suite, the full deal, and we actually get it done. But I'm charging them 6.5. So I actually made, no, okay, we won't get into that. Okay. So, but the fact of the matter is we can help them get it done. So don't believe the BS that if you just throw it on the MLS, especially in today's market where our inventory is 3 times what it was 2 years ago. Literally, we are in a normal market. We're no longer in a seller's market. We have massive inventory. During COVID, we had 60. Now we have 430. Okay, so, you know, we have a lot of inventory. So these things are literally not selling. Ego, that's another reason why sellers don't list. Commission, they don't want to pay the full commission. They don't see your value. Bad experience with an agent before. They've had past success selling something, 10 years ago. They did a FSBO and everything's the same now. They haven't been shown your value. They have no idea who to call. They don't know a realtor. They've gotten bad advice from family and friends, and sometimes actually real estate agents. Just throw it on the market. Why would you say that if you're a real estate agent? They think that we don't do anything. Sometimes there's something wrong with the home and they're actually shady. We've run into that. They don't want to do an owner's property disclosure. So, really feel them out. They really want to do a contract for deed for tax purposes. They don't want to actually sell. They just want to slowly get that. So, but you can still help them with that, list that, and maybe acquire them a higher sale price in the end. And they're just desperate. They just want to meet a spouse during the showings.
LOL.
Ah, okay, good. Just make sure you're listening that way. So, whatever it takes, right? I mean, think about it. You do an open house 7 days a week. Might work, might be a thing. Place dating app. Okay, now our job on the phone call when we're calling them is to, is that how I met Sarah? No, there's a way weirder story than that. One she probably doesn't want to admit. And she probably regrets ever stopping on the car to get my drunk ass off the side of the road. And anyway, okay, so we're going to stop right there again. But our job on the, I should ask her sometime. She'll probably tell you. But our job on the phone is to call them, is to listen to them, to set the appointment. And I'm talking about a listing appointment, and ask great question. And the big thing we have to remember how to do is to sow seeds of doubt. And how we do that is through questions. Okay. So we have to realize that the magic happens sometimes on the 3rd or 4th follow-up. Okay. And that's very important to remember. We don't always get them on the first call, but we should try like heck and give 3 or 4 pushbacks on that first call, but no more than that, because you don't want to anger them either, but you do want to be firm. Okay. You have to sow the seeds of doubt. And we're going to go over the questions in just a second, on what, how to ask, how to sow those seeds of doubt. It is so important to throw those in between the script questions, which if we have time, we'll get to as well. And if not, quickly schedule the second follow-up call, Adelina, with me, even if it's later in the day or at night. In my opinion, okay, and I have lots of those, just ask Sarah, I have to be very careful saying what I just said about the third or fourth appointment. Why? Because fear of rejection, we sometimes let them off the hook thinking that maybe we'll magically get them someday down the road, and we magically never even make that second, third, or fourth call. So what I mean is, if you do push back 2, 3, 4 times in that first call and you can't get them, that's when it goes into that second group. Goes in Brivity, market report, listing alerts, newsletter, blog posts, texts, auto plan, whatever. Okay. I do not start an auto plan on any of these people until I've spoken with them first. Okay. Now you're either, and here's the one thing I'm going to say, because we're so anxious to feel like we're accomplishing something in life, that you sometimes become a perpetual previewer and not a powerful listing agent. Okay? I need you to hear that. Your job is a listing appointment that's pre-qualified with buy-in from the for sale by owner or expired or whoever, not just to go over there and be like, here, seller experience, here you go. Here it is. Hi. You know, and then put yourself on social media that you're actually doing something. Okay. No, pre-qualify them and set up listing appointment. I almost just said a cuss word. Okay. So also, previews are an invitation. If you're not careful, you have to walk this fine line to be weak on the phone. I have removed all scripts from, and there are some in our place, sorry, that are just trying to set up a preview. And you do what your team leader tells you to do and not what I tell you to do. But if you start going in that way, it won't get any better, in my opinion. Now, are there times where previews are the only thing you could get and you should do it? Yes. Remember the 3 to 4 pushbacks. Then maybe it's okay to go do that. Maybe that's your second follow-up, and then you follow up 3 or 4 times with the, you make the third contact. Second contact is a visit, third contact is a call, fourth contact is a call. I think so many scripts these days are so watered down that they let you off the hook. Why did they make them watered down to begin with? Because they want you to actually start. How about we just educate you, and then you can start confidently when you're ready. Okay, we don't want you to take the easy way out. That never leads to anything good in life. I can tell you. Okay, I tried to eat pizza to lose weight. It didn't work. Okay, and now I have what they call a dad bod. Okay, I have to wear baggy shirts, baggy pants, everything else. It's terrible. Okay, all right. Did I get even a courtesy laugh there? Okay, good. All right. So good. Okay, good. I like that. Thank you. I got the LOL. Okay. So if I'm going to spend time doing something, instead of spending time previewing, this could be the total antithesis of what your team leader is telling you. I spend my time role playing. And rather than that 2 or 3 hour window through traffic and going over for a preview, I will practice my FSBO scripts for 2 or 3 hours instead. I literally will. And I still look at them every day. I've been doing this now for 11 years. I still look at them every day. Most FSBOs I ever closed in 1 year was 30. Okay, that was how much I closed, 29, sorry. I round up. So it's 29. Okay, don't want to lie to anybody. But I spent so much time honing those skills. I love them. I literally eat them for breakfast. I love it. I can back them into a corner so well. I should probably practice for a week before I start calling them again. I can back them into a corner so well without making them feel stupid that they have to let me come see them because they're so afraid they're going to lose money. Okay. So let's talk about that. When you're doing your scripts, again, the thing I see happen most, if you doubt the closes yourself, you have a natural tendency to not believe what's being said in the script. I see it over and over and over and over and over again. You have to believe what you're saying in anything in life. People can tell if you don't believe it. You're scared of the outcome sometimes, either because you haven't done it, you haven't practiced it, or whatever. You have to detach yourself from the outcome of the call, your disbelief that you're actually good enough to make them more money, which you are. You should see the stats I was just looking at Market for Your Broker. You're better than that. And that's your main competition with FSBOs is Zillow and then these flat fears. Okay. So detach yourself from the outcome, your disbelief, and your fear. I would fear, instead of calling them or sounding dumb on the phone, which we certainly all do, every one of us, including myself, I would fear my wife telling me we didn't have enough money for me to go duck hunting. That is like literally my biggest fear. I fear not having enough money to go do whatever I want, whenever I want. Okay. Now I do get that dirty look sometimes, and I know I better not go because I might be dead soon thereafter. Now I get that look, and that's a look only a wonderful gal can give. Okay, I just want to let you know, you guys have it's a superpower. It's kind of that little one like this, like you know what it's like. All right, so I've come up. I think we're going to look at a script now, or hear a script now. I really think, and just chime in if there's anything you want to put in. I really believe that when we're first starting, there's a lot of noise out there and a lot of scripts. And would you just pick one and just make that your one? I don't care what one it is. Just pick one and make sure it doesn't say, in my opinion, preview. Okay. Now you could go there, but I want the end goal of this call to be pre-qualified appointment. Pick a script and make it your own. Okay. When I say make it your own, I do not mean change it. I mean, say it enough where you can literally be laying in bed this morning, like I was thinking about what I was going to say today to help you. Roll it over in your head over and over, practice it enough, chant it enough, write it out enough, role play it enough again, until it becomes second nature, but don't change it. Read it verbatim. Don't even change a word. Okay. I saw, good morning. Is this Bob? Bob, Jason with Rise Real Estate. I saw that you had a house for sale by owner. Did you get that sold, or is it still available? I know you've probably gotten 20 calls from real estate agents, probably just right this morning. Where are you headed? They'll answer me, of course. Where are you headed after you get your property sold? Are you staying in Missoula or getting out of Dodge? I wait for the answer. In a perfect world, how soon did you have to be there? Okay, I never want to end my sentence on an upswing. How soon did you have to be there? No, how soon did you have to be there? Move your head down at the end of the sentence if you need to. Okay, it's power. Have you had many showings or offers on your house so far that weren't rent to own? I'm creating doubt right there. That weren't contract for deed. They're going to be like, how did he know I've had 5 calls? Because every single for sale by owner, their first call is, will you do a rent to own? How much down? None. Yeah, let me get that contract written up right now for you. Okay, so they always get those kinds of calls. If your home's sold in the next 30 days, would that pose a problem? Whatever I want the answer to be is the way that I'm shaking my head. Okay, they feel that through the phone. The number one mistake new FSBO callers and seasoned FSBOs callers, because they don't want to hear no or have any kind of blood pressure increase through the call, is they wait to the end of the script. If you write down nothing else today, do not wait to the end of the script to close. If you're at the end of a cul-de-sac, unless you drive straight through someone's house, which would be kind of super funny, there's nowhere else to go. Okay, like you're there. You're just, so what you have to do is knock on a few doors on the way down the cul-de-sac. That might have been the most terrible analogy ever. I've never said that before, but anyway, there you go. The call is free, so you just have to consider that. Okay, so in the last 12 months, I have sold 30 for sale by owners. If I could show you a way to sell your house for more money than if you sold it by yourself or with any other agent, would that be worth 15 or 20 minutes of your time? that 15 to 20 minutes of your time close has made me the #1 list. This is like, I don't talk about myself except my weight, but I have in our MLS for residential listings sold for the last decade have been #1 for resident, even with a team now. Okay. So I don't say that to impress you, just to let you know that if you do this role play and you do the script practice and you never think you arrive and you just have the courage to do it. Look, I was a drug addict when I first started, 6 months before I first started calling for sale by owners and expireds. 4 months into my career, I got shot in my face and life flighted. Okay. And I look way better after I got shot than I did before. And so I have been through a lot. I've been broke 3 times in my life. Okay. And we're going through some stuff right now, but every single day is literally a gift. And every single day we can choose to just make a little tiny step forward with our practice, with our business, with our life, with our ethics, with our mindset. Okay. So that's very important. And so you close early and close often. Not sure why I went off on that tangent, but here's the next question on the script. Why did you decide to sell it yourself? So I closed 3 questions, 4 questions down the script every time. I never have once ever gotten to the last question of the script ever in my career. Never. I've never gotten there. It's my goal to set an appointment after 4 questions. That's my goal. My goal is to not go on a preview. My goal is to frickin' set an appointment. That's the only reason why I'm on the phone making these calls today. I want to help them not lose money. And I friggin' believe truly that I can help them not lose money. I literally believe that in my core. And if you don't know enough about the for sale by owner process. How in the hell are they going to put it on one website and you're going to put it on like 5,000 through our syndication or however many agent websites are across the whole entire country? How in the world is that one Zillow website going to sell it more than you? It's not happening. And if you think it will, you're the kind of person, with all due respect, that always looks at the exception and not the rule, the 98% of the time, right? Don't look at that 2% of the time. Okay, now, why did you decide to sell it yourself rather than list with an agent? They always say commission. Were you aware that the average for sale by owner sells for less than if a powerful agent like myself handled the sale for you? I took 14% out of there because that's what a lot of the scripts use. That's what a lot of the people hear. In the analyticals, the 16% of the population that are 100% analytical will spend the next 90 days looking up to see if that's true. Okay. So rather than you having to do that, I just took it out. Okay. There's a study out there, granted it was a few years ago, that said the average sell price is 14% less, but I don't say that now. Okay. If I have to get there down the script later, sure. Now, were you offering a buyer's agent commission? Now, in my script, if you were looking at my screen, I have a little prompt for my agents that says, insert a close from page 2. It used to just say insert a close, but they could never find it. So I say on page 2. So they turned the page, I'm just trying to be helpful. Now, you'll say it. So normally I say, is it more important for you to net more money on the sale of your home or sell it on your own? That's usually what I say. And they're going to be like, I'm backing them into a corner. They're going to be like, well, I want to make more money, but my ego is telling me that I need to continue to sell this house on my own. And that question just totally disarms them. Usually you don't have to go past that. So if I could do all the work for you and put more money in your pocket, you'd want to meet with me for 15 or 20 minutes, right? And you're like, how do they say no to those 2 things? And then they're just an idiot. You know what I mean? But we also don't call them that on the phone, even though we're thinking, okay, now they're like, no, Jason, I'm still not coming over here. And I'm gonna be like, okay, well, I'm curious. How did you come up with your asking price? I'm creating doubt. They're gonna be like, holy cow, maybe this is wrong. I haven't sworn once yet. I better step it up. Now, are you prepared to adjust your price down when working with the buyer? they're going to be like, well, I'm not paying a commission. So yeah, I'd go down. I would. So then I insert another close and I'm just going to page 2. So yeah, I don't know. You can pick one right here. Like, listen, all I'm trying to do is give you $15,000 or $20,000 more. Make sure you don't leave any money on the table for 15 or 20 minutes of your time. Would that be a good use of your time? I mean, does that sound beneficial to you? This is all about them. This is what it looks like. Okay. If I have to close 3 times and they're not giving me the appointment, I'm going to go for one more. That's it. So I'm going to ask a couple more questions. I'm like, dude, if they're not giving me 15 or 20 minutes of their time after 4 attempts, I could be like, all right, so how do we get them off the hook? I go through closes all day. How do I get them off the hook? Look, it sounds like you're just not ready for a real estate agent. I'm a salesperson, so I have to ask you one more time. Do you really have to sell this? Because they might just say, they might now give you a condition versus these reflex objections. I don't have to sell it right now. I'm not sure if I'm getting that job. And, or my kids, I just don't want to move before my kids are graduating. So, that's a kind of more of a condition than objection. As a salesperson, if you're listening, you really, really, really need to understand the difference between an objection, which is like, I'm just looking, no, I'm going to list with my friend, I want to try it on my own for a couple of weeks or blah, blah, blah. Or a condition is literally why they can't move. They can't move. They're not going to do 3 moves before June, before their kid gets out of school. They're just not going to do it. So understand that. Okay. All right. Questions, concerns? On a scale of 1 to 10, how shitty is this? Okay, there's my first. Okay. All right.
One of the first things they say is, we're not hiring an agent, Jason. We're just, they cut you off before you get to have fun with them.
Yeah, just say, I completely understand it. I know a lot of them around and I absolutely would not hire them either. So question, how many showings have you had and have you had any acceptable offers yet? And you're just saying it with a little humor in your voice. You're not like, and that's where the practice comes in. You're like, I totally get it. Gosh dang, I wouldn't hire half of them either. So question, after you sell the house, where are you headed off to, Adelina? Make it about them again. And just, you have to show your confidence, right? It just comes from hearing the same. And you got to remember, on a for sale by owner, you're only going to ever hear 3 or 4 things. And if you hear something so zonky, they're probably just nuts. Yeah, hang up the phone anyway,
Scott, tell us, you got a question. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm just curious if you have maybe some basic metrics, like how many leads do you have in your market? How many of those do you get in touch with? How many of those do you end up kind of getting on, into an appointment with? And can you just share some conversion ratios?
2 FSBOs a day, and I'm to the point where if I talk to 5 of them, I'll set a listing appointment.
Say it again.
2 new a day on average.
Okay.
If I talk to 5, I'll take a listing.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay.
I'm
going to send over, Adelina, this thing at the very end of this, because I know we're kind of getting short on time. At the very end of this, there's some questions how to create doubt. How many offers have you received? You just heard that. Do you realize Zillow's already tallying your days on market? How you will ensure you're not leaving any money on the table? What type of buyer are you looking for? And do you know the type of buyers that typically buy for sale by owners? These are just some questions to insert to create doubt. Yeah. And I'll say everybody's welcome to have this. Just, it's my intellectual property, but it's not that intellectual. So
I got you. Deanna, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, perfect.
So I know we're going to probably receive some of this information, but can you repeat what you asked them about the rent to own, what you were talking about?
Yeah, so that was the first question.
You said that really, yeah, you said that really fast, and I was like, man, that is so impressive. I didn't even get a chance to write it down.
Yeah, it's so good you deleted it. No, I'm just kidding. No, so what I say is when I'm on the script, I ask him, I say, so it's have you had many showings or offers so far that were not rent to owner contract for deed? It's like, boom, third question in the whole entire script is like creating that doubt right away. And it also adds, they definitely got that call. I've never had someone not get that call.
I love it. Thank you so much. And I think that this was just chef's kiss. It was amazing. Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm glad to hear that.
Jason, where are you getting what service are you using currently for sale by owners? Not right or wrong.
Vulcan 7, can't wait for land voice to all be under one roof, right? So Vulcan 7 and then my VAs every single morning. Every single morning our VAs load them from forsalebyowner.com, from that Congress Realty, from Vulcan, and then Zillow.
Got it. Got it. Question, and by the way, if anyone else has a question, just pop your hand up. Question for you.
Mhm.
You're going through the script. You have not set the appointment. You've asked your, 3 main questions, 4 questions. You want to set up the conversation, the next conversation.
Yep.
You are going to call them again. What does that
Yep.
setup look like?
Yeah, it's great. It's, thank you very much. And like, as I said, I'm a salesperson. I have these questions because I care about your net. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to send you a market report so you can keep an eye on what's happening in the market. And I'll follow up next week or in a couple of days just to make sure that you got it and don't need it changed. What's the best email to send that to? That's all I say.
Okay. And then your follow-up conversation, say you talk to them today and you're going to call them again, maybe Monday or Tuesday.
Have you got your house sold yet? Have you had any offers? How many showings have you had? Is it time to meet?
Okay. All
That's
right.
it. I'm not continuing to pander. I'm being very abrupt with them, and I'm saying how many showings, because it's literally just say, would it be okay if I just came over now? After the 3rd or 4th time, maybe we start to, after the 3rd or 4th time, maybe we start to, phase in a preview. But again, I'll let you're on the call. I'm not.
Got it. Maria, you've got a question. I see your hand.
Yes. Hi, Jason. Maria Paraco from Midland.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Amazing.
My question, you kind of talk about this just now, but did you ever approach them like in person before calling
No.
them? No,
No,
not at all?
everybody has a firearm in Montana. I stay off their front porch. Though I have an AR-15 within arm reach, just so you know.
Okay. And
That
one more,
makes sense.
And I'm
one
not
more-
kidding.
one more thing. I don't know if this is allowed in your market center, but I remember doing this a long time ago, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I offer to one for someone owner to host an open house before listing with them. Is that something that you'll try that we're allowed to do? Actually, I know that we are not allowed to do it in our market center, but I don't know if you've tried before.
We've never done it. I've heard of people doing it. We're so rural. It's like our open houses, we're lucky if we have 2 people come and 2 of them are neighbors. Our houses are like miles apart, and we're not like in a city where we get a ton of traffic, but we haven't had to do that. But that does not mean where you are. Here's the thing. It might be on the 3rd or 4th call what you can do to get in front of them.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Real quick question, and then I'm going to go to Scott. Elizabeth asked, do you mail them anything at any point?
No.
Okay, so you are not currently mailing anything at any point right now. If
Nope.
you talk to them Thursday, when's the next time you would actually call them? Like if you talk to them today and you need a follow-up,
Yeah.
when's realistic?
So I'm trying to be on a 5-day call cycle. I don't want to wait a week. You got to remember, although I say as many agents as you think that are calling them, they're not. There still are. FSBOs and expireds are more likely to list with someone else who's better at the script faster because they're kind of front and center for more people. I try not to let it go a week. I try to let it be 3 to 5 business days.
Okay, I love that. Scott, I'm going to you.
Yeah, I'm just curious, what do you do with the people who kind of like quit taking your calls?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I have a 3 call and out. Like if I call them 3 times and they're rude, avoid me, hang up on me, don't give me the time of day, I'm out. I got better shit to do with my life. But realistically, I have a 3 and done, 3 talks, and they're not, if I just continue to try to call them, I may have the wrong phone number. I may look them up on Forewarn. I may try texting them. I've actually set a bunch of listing appointments by texting the script questions to them. So if they won't pick up on the phone, I'll call them. If they're just an ass on the phone, I'm not interested with them. My business, I close enough transactions where I can pick and choose who I work with. I've had a fight to get there.
If I could,
but I don't work with a bunch of
if I could
idiots.
ask a follow-up, I was really more curious about like people that, you kind of got into conversation with and talked with them a couple of times, and
Yeah.
then they just kind of ghosted you.
But yeah, so I just move on. Yeah. So I'm sending him a market report, hopefully. Like, I'm not, dude, I'm attracting the people I'm attracting. I'm not trying to fight a fight that I don't need to fight. Like, I'm not giving up. But if they're just ghosting you, it's kind of like a date. Someone doesn't want to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I need to get on a treadmill. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is like, I'm okay with just moving on to next.
Mhm. Will you do another, hey, Scott, are you still on the call?
Yes.
Will you do if Jason is the agent, will you be a potential for sell by owner and you guys do a script? Just
Sure.
so, yeah, I feel like you maybe have a potentially a little experience. Love to see what it like. Jason, will you just do a like a for sale by owner call? We
Yep.
wrap with that, and I'd love to have you back. By the way, getting
Yeah.
so many PMs right now. You guys aren't even putting it in a public space, but I can see it. You guys, they love it. If you'll wrap us with that, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah. So ring, ring.
Hello.
Yeah. Good morning. This is Jason Baker calling with Rise Real Estate. Say, was just looking on Zillow and I saw that you had a house for sale by owner. Did you get that sold or is it still available?
Nope, it's still available.
Still available. Awesome. It
Yeah.
sounds like you probably got about 50 calls from real estate agents so far. Where are you headed after you get it sold? Are you staying in Austin or getting out of Dodge?
Yeah, I've already got another house, and I've done this before, so I don't think that I really need an agent at this point. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, and I completely appreciate that. Hey, when you go to sell this house, are you concerned about how much money when it's all said and done that you put in your pocket?
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm asking the right price, and my house is really beautiful, so I'm really not concerned that it's not going to sell.
Yeah, and I completely understand that. How many offers have you gotten so far that were accepted to you? I mean, you said it was still available, correct?
Still available. Yeah. I've had a couple of people looking at it. I got a guy right now that's trying to get pre-qualified. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty hopeful that that's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that a lot. There's someone over here, there's someone over here. Question, in the last 12 months, I've sold 30 for sale by owners, helped them net top dollar on the sale of their home. If I could show you a way to sell your house, do all of the work for you and sell it for more than you could sell it for on your own or with any other agent, would that be worth 15 or 20 minutes of your time?
Look, Jason, I appreciate, what you're saying. And, I've had a couple of calls from some real estate agents so far. They're all promising that they're going to be able to help me sell it and get the most amount of money. But I'm just not quite sure if I'm ready for that yet.
Yeah. And I completely understand that. We don't want to force you to do anything that you don't want to do. Why did you decide to sell it yourself rather than list with a powerful agent?
Man, I like I said, I got a nice house. It's in a desirable neighborhood. I've done this in the past. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be able to snag myself a buyer.
Yeah, you're pretty sure. So, all I'm trying to do is to make sure that you're not leaving any money on the table. If a 15 or 20 minute appointment could prove to you that I could put 15, 20, 25, $30,000 more in your pocket, even after my commission, surely you'd want to hear about that. Again, it would only take 15 or 20 minutes. I've got time available tomorrow at 3, or would 4 o'clock be better?
Look, I tell you what, Jason, I'm not saying that I won't, consider it. I might be willing to pay you if you've got a buyer. Do you happen to have a buyer right now?
That's an excellent question. It's more about finding a buyer with the 24,000 people in our database to get competing offers than just having one in here, potentially an investor who's going to make a lowball offer. And it really does come back to net, because I don't think you want to just sell a house to sell a house for the fun of it, right?
No.
Right. So if I could open up that list of 24,000 people to you by advertising your house, by deciding to do business together, and it did turn out that I could net you more money, And I know I've asked you about the money. I mean, maybe it's not the money that's most important to you. Is it kind of a thing you just want to do on your own and make less?
No, in fact, you know, I think I can make more, you know, if I'm able to get the property sold without having to pay, you know, 6% commission. I mean, we're talking about like 30 grand, man. I mean,
Oh, I know. And you did say that you're willing to pay me for bringing a buyer, correct?
yeah, you know, I think I'd be willing to pay you,
Awesome.
you know, if you brought me a buyer.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm grateful that you would do that. So are you looking at 2.5%, 3% or?
You know, I haven't actually thought about that.
Well, that's normal. So it sounds to me like if I came in and did all of the work for you, like everything, the advertising, the liability, the marketing, handling the buyers, handling the inspections, the appraisal, everything, all I need to do, because all you're doing is putting it on 1 or 2 websites, all I got to do is make an extra 2.5 or 3% on the sale of your home, and you'd want to hire me. So let's do this. I know you're skeptical. I get that. I totally do. For 10 minutes, you can make sure for yourself and your family that you're not losing money. And if you don't like what I have to say, I'm sure you have multiple doors in the house. You can point towards any one of them. Hell, I'll even leave my car running in the driveway and you can just kick me out. Fair enough.
Okay, I tell you what, Jason, I'm gonna be having an open house on Saturday. See if anybody comes by. Why don't you swing by then?
That sounds really good. This is really, really important to me. Could I come 30 minutes before the open house just so we've got no distractions? I can make sure I get a cookie and we'll just go over everything together and then you can do your open house. Fair enough?
Yeah, I think that'd be okay.
You're awesome. Man, I'll tell you what, speaking of cookies, you're a tough cookie. And I can't wait to meet you at 12:30. Now, before I come out, there's a number of questions that I need to ask to make sure that I make you the most amount of money. First one is, if what I say makes sense and you feel comfortable and confident that I can sell it and put more money in your pocket, are you planning to list with me on 12:30 on Sunday? And then I just go into the pre-poll. So I'm not going to do the whole thing because you'll be there and I'll have to pee by then. But it's one of the, you know, I'm 49 or almost. Sunday I'll be 49. I like Shields gift certificates, just if anyone's wondering, or like referrals at 35%, you know, that I send out. Okay. So anyways, guys, I hope that was really good. I got to get on the phone in 10 minutes and call some freaking FSBOs. Okay. So I love you guys. Listen, God bless you. Get out and vote on November 15th. You've got 2 choices. I kind of like the money choice. We'll see ya. Thanks, Adelina.
Thanks, Jason.
No, you got to be careful saying that now, Austin. You know, you got to be real careful. All right. So anyhow, we'll talk to you later. I'll get these out. If you have any questions, Jason at jasonbakerteam.com. My cell phone is 406-552-7548. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate you, Jason. We'll see you next time, bud.
I can't wait. Bye-bye.
All right. See ya.